What up? What up? What up? It is Thursday. What's going on? TentHut is a TentHut show with a side of whiskey.
Cheers.
Salud.
Salud.
I hope you guys
Salud.
enjoy the weekend. And so, we got Will back in the show.
Back in the house.
He's been gone
Yeah,
for a
I
while,
kinda missed it a little bit.
living the life.
Where'd you go, bro? Where'd you go?
I think the first week I was gone, I was in Vegas,
Yeah.
right? And then I came back for a few days, and then I left to El Salvador.
Yeah.
Well, what part is El Salvador?
I was all over that country, bro. It's so tiny. Like
It
it
is.
literally from Honduras to the water, it's like maybe 2 hours max to get from one side to the other.
Well, yeah.
And then from the north to the south of that country, it's like maybe in the longest part, maybe 4 hours. So it's like Southern California. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
But so today's podcast is we wanted to touch on a little bit more of where we left off last week, which was PTSD and
Are you hearing
recovery.
things? Hold on. So everybody should know that Jose is right now. He's live. He's glamping right now.
He's glamping.
Yeah. I'm camping, which brings us. That's why I wanted to mention the topic is getting out of your headspace and traveling, doing something local, something just to get out of that routine. If you're feeling like you're coming, like we mentioned last time, it's like these dips that you get in depression and things like that. Getting out and doing things it's at least for me, and I know Will travels like a motherfucker, so I know that's what he does. But I mean, he doesn't do this because he don't like
bro,
it. But
hell, yeah, and we talked about this earlier. We were busting each other's chops, but
yeah,
I don't do camping. That's not for me. I like to go and waste my money to get service.
pampered.
I want service. Bring me my food to
Wait.
That's a typical Air Force right there. So
rub my toes.
Rub my toes.
But you got to qualify it because you just said you want to get serviced. So it's just massages, right? It's not
not like that, bro. Come on, man.
I mean, in El Salvador.
Yeah.
I'm
pretty sure, bro. I mean, like, it's a lot of people don't get how much human trafficking is an issue in other countries, and it's almost like it's normal in some countries. Like people talk about Thailand, people talk about a lot of places in down south from us. Mexico, Central America, and of course down in South America. And it's not something that's frowned upon. So yeah, it is.
They kind of just brush it off and stuff. I'm sure it's frowned upon. It's just that they're like, oh man, if it hasn't happened to me personally, they kind of just push it away.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's part. Some places it's part of their culture. It's like
no shit, just sell somebody.
Yeah, I mean, there's like families that dedicate themselves to doing that stuff, within their family or whatever.
And I'm sure we can do an entire podcast on human trafficking and break somebody. But
let's get back to to what we were talking about.
Bro, let me get you back on what we were talking about last week, which was how did you recognize signs of a change from when you previously when your previous life before the military and then after? Like, how did you recognize those changes? And
unfortunately, this is how I tell everybody: is you gotta listen to the people that are watching you. Because for us, like when we sit there and we're like, oh, there's nothing wrong with me, and you hear it all the time. I'm like, bro, you don't act the same from when I met you, 12 years ago, 20 years ago. So you got to really pay attention to what people are telling you. Like people don't go out of their way to tell you you're different, or I know we change, throughout the military. You change, your perspective on the
Yeah.
world changes, but there's certain things that might be called out, like, hey, maybe you should seek out help. And that's the big key, is if somebody's telling you maybe you should seek out help, then you've changed in a way that is threatening to other people, in a way.
And to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it was, my ex-wife at that time. She's like, hey, I think you really need to go see somebody, because and it's usually your loved ones that are going to tell you, that
The
something's
closest
wrong with
one.
you, that something is wrong, something's not really clicking there correctly, and look, I'll never tell somebody to put down any of the stuff that they've gone through,
Yeah.
because that's not what I'm saying at all. But you need to recognize that you need help, and then go ask for that help, you know?
You know what, bro? You brought up a really good point. Is like we're not looking to get a story from you,
Hmm.
or from, whenever somebody tells you that you might need to seek some help, or you're different, or talk to somebody.
Hmm.
I don't think it is for them asking you like, oh, what is it that happened that made you this way? That's not what they're asking. They're just
Nah,
caring about you, and you know.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
that's
that's the big thing. And a lot of people, they take it as offensive, and it's hurtful, when somebody's telling you, hey, something's wrong with you. People
yeah,
don't want to
yeah.
assume.
It does take some time to sink in.
Yeah.
It
So for me, that's when I really was like, you know what, maybe she's right. I'm not myself. I really haven't paid attention, and the big key was asking, well, what's different, because then I can focus in and dial in on what is the problem. Now that's the hardest thing, because somebody really has to focus on how have you changed,
yeah.
so I mean, you might get a very subtle answer. It's an uncomfortable situation to tell somebody you need help, but they've already took the steps to identify that there's something not clicking correctly, and you need to figure it out,
Yeah, it's especially if one of those symptoms is, and I'm gonna call it how it is. These are symptoms that you're going through. You know,
Mhm.
uh, especially if one of those symptoms is irritability, anger,
Oh,
and you're lashing out, and it makes it difficult for people to approach you.
yeah,
But it's those loved ones, is the ones that really care about you, that say, "Fuck it, you know what? I need to tell them. I need to tell them something so that this can change."
and the big thing for me was that I couldn't talk about what was going on, right? So my conversations with my spouse at that time started going from, we're talking, but now I'm not talking at all, and she wants to talk and find out what's going on, right?
Yeah, you shut down, and she's
Yeah, and
probing.
in the Air Force, a lot of our positions are classified as either secret or higher. Right? There's very
Yeah,
few classified positions in the Air Force. Space Force, same thing. I think most of their stuff is all top secret. So when you have a frustrating day at work, when you see things, when you're watching videos of kids being abused, or women being battered, because that's the way that their culture is, it starts hitting you, and then casualties of war starts hitting you, whatever your job is in the military, and you can't talk about this stuff because it hasn't been debriefed, uh,
yeah,
what I tell a lot of people is you should talk about the situation, but don't talk about the mission or the details of the situation, if that makes sense. So
Mhm.
if you're encountering something, and talk communication really helps out to vent, rant, like some people call it nowadays in all
yeah,
these social media platforms, is the rant. You know, you can go ahead and rant, but you just gotta watch what you say as far as classified information or details of a specific mission or investigation or whatever it is that you're dealing with, right?
Right.
But talk about the situation. That's okay. You know, it's similar in law. You know, we have our guidance and book of ethics. You know, law ethics, and we don't talk about a client's information. That's privilege. But what I could talk about with one of my colleagues is maybe the situation that I'm encountering, right? What laws am I pertaining to? Look, I have this case, is this, and that. I'm not talking about details. I'm not saying, hey, you know, he did this or she did that. It's more of there's a situation similar to this, right? But
Yeah.
I'm not talking the details of what I've been encountering because that would be violation of ethics, right? It's the same thing in the military. You know, there's nothing wrong with you talking about the situation. Just don't talk about the details of the situation, right?
Yeah.
What triggered you? What's hitting you? What's bothering you? What's burning inside you? You know, and the big thing is watch out for guilt. You know, um, I'm a big believer in spiritual psychology now that I'm out, but it took a very long time for me to get into that and find my alignment. But I believe that there's bad spirits and good spirits, right? Um, some of us call it the devil, some of us call it something else, Lucifer,
Yeah.
Satan, whatever you want to call it, or you just want to call it a bad omen or whatever, um, or negative energy. Uh, you have to look inside you, or is that something you're dragging in? Guilt is the worst of any of that because guilt is what burns us inside, the guilt of why him and not me, why my buddy and not me, or why couldn't I protect them or protect them. And you got your boy over in the background.
That's
Wait,
my that's my cousin.
so they're busting a Waldo. Where's Waldo?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and so you got to watch out with the guilt. You need to really pay attention to that. If you feel guilty about something, that's when hey, I need to talk about this. Because when you talk to somebody about guilt, what happens is most of the time that person will tell you the perspective that you're seeing is
So,
incorrect. You know?
so there's now such a thing. So they're trying to see the difference between, and this is in the realm within psychology. They're
Yeah.
trying to see the difference between survivor's guilt
Mhm.
and PTSD.
Yeah.
PTSD going through traumatic, although
I
being a
think
survivor
survivor's
of
guilt, it's a type of I mean,
yeah,
you know how
that's where I was going
PTSD
to.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I was going at. That's that it could be a branch of your PTSD symptoms or things like that, or is it something completely different where you might have not seen combat, but
Mhm.
uh, you were in a supportive unit and you didn't see combat, but the
Mhm.
people that you were supporting, the people that you were constantly assisting, might have not come back from the wire
Yeah.
into the wire, and that survivor's guilt gets to people.
Yeah.
Um, and it's still like Will mentioned, it could still be part of that PTSD symptom. It could still be part of, um, uh, I guess in this case, would be a claim for PTSD. So
And you know this that I used to be LA City Fire before I joined the Air Force
yeah,
and before September 11, and I saw a lot of women be battered and kids get battered, but it and I saw it throughout the military, when I was out, and I mean, for those of you that don't know, yeah, I saw a lot of casualties and all that, but the one that got me was this kid that went through a whole incident because of religion, out in we were out in Kirkuk, Iraq, and that's what hit me, which is weird because out of all the things that hit me to like trigger me was
yeah,
this situation. now I can put it into perspective and realize that the reason that it hit me so hard is because at that time I left my kids at home, my son. My daughter was born around the same time that this incident happened. You know, I hadn't met my daughter. I met her when she was 4 months old. Um, so maybe that's the reason that it triggered me, you know, but
That's
it,
highly likely.
yeah, and at that point, it's just like, well, why is this bothering me so much? I've seen stuff like this or similar things, you know, and it bothers me. Of course, it's freaking gross and disgusting, but it never bothered me to a point where I felt like that guilt, and
Yeah.
that's where it hit me, you know.
Well,
So
I think it's more of a protective instinct because you know you have a child and you had one that you hadn't met, and it's that innate protective instinct of saying, "Holy shit!" And pardon the words, but it's like, oh, I have one of these.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's like,
and I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to my kids.
hell no. You want to keep them in a bubble.
I'm not a jealous person at all. I am a very protective person, though. When it comes to my stuff, my kids, you know, whatever it is, my friends, I'm
Yeah.
very protective in that way. But not, you know, as far as you know, fears. When people say, "Do you not fear jumping out of?" Nah, I'm not scared of heights. I'm not scared of spiders, snakes, birds.
I was mortified at heights, man, but I still jumped out of those airplanes.
Yeah, like all that stuff doesn't scare me, but what does I do fear is something bad happening to my kids. So maybe that was the reason, you know. And I would narrow it down to being that, but I wouldn't be able to do that unless I went and seeked out therapy to figure it out, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I had I had 7 therapists that I went through before I found the right one.
Yeah, it does
Um,
take a while, man. So for the people that are watching, don't give up on the first, second, third, even the fifth one.
mm-mm,
Do not give up, man.
mm-mm,
You'll hit the one that really connects with you.
yeah.
So
Give each therapist their opportunity, okay? Because I'll tell you what, the first one I had taught me something, how to rewrite dreams. She put me through this little therapy session, you know, and it really helped out with the nightmares. I mean, I didn't get rid of them, but there's something called rewriting your dreams. You know, I don't know if you've ever had a dream that you actually like, right? And you want to continue that dream, so you sit there and try to push the dream to the place you want to go. We're not
yeah.
going to talk about what type of dream we're talking about, but
you
you
know
know,
you know
you
it's
can
it's
do that with a nightmare as well, a night terror.
it's good that you talk to for the people that are watching. Please tune in to our next podcast because we are going to go over with a clinician, with a psychiatrist on the different approaches
Yeah,
to PTSD and depression and anxiety and things like that. So tune in. But it's a good segue to um, where we are now. You know,
yeah,
I don't want to try to be a dead horse because
yeah,
we a lot of us have issues. But
yeah,
how do we get out of those? And what do we do when we are feeling that roller coaster ride dip?
yeah,
Mm.
Uh, and that's why we started the podcast saying
yeah,
uh, travel for you at least.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. So, for me, second therapist. Uh, what did I learn? Oh, writing. And you saw the stacks of books that I write on.
yeah,
You know, so that
ghostwriting, right? It's called ghostwriting
yeah. For
or
me, it was
automatic
just
writing or something.
empty my brain, you know, like because if you write it down, you feel this sense of, well, I don't gotta hold on to it because now it's written down somewhere, so I can go back and refer to it versus constantly, I better not forget this, I better not forget this, I better not, you know. So it's like constantly in your head, and you stop forgetting, or stop forgetting things, or start forgetting stuff, and not realize that you need to do other stuff. So writing was the second one. The third one was when I really got really deep into dealing with the issue, what was causing me guilt, you know, and that one was through repetitive telling the story over and over and over and over and over to
Yeah,
her.
that's called exposure therapy.
Yeah. So every single psychologist, every single psychiatrist has their own different way that they're gonna do things. Do not say, I don't like him, I don't like her right off the bat. Give it some time, you know, play with it, try to see what you can learn, go to a few sessions. If after 4 or 5 sessions you don't see what's going on, or you don't have a good solid plan of where you want to be with that person, then maybe look into somebody else. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
spend some time with the people.
give it
Person.
at least several sessions where, you know, I completely agree, man.
Yeah. And it's hard, man, because I mean, especially switching, because you feel like you got to start all over.
And you absolutely have to start all over, and it
So
sucks because you feel like you're at a square one, and it does get frustrating, yeah,
it does.
having to start
It
over.
does. But you have to go through the steps, because I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
you know, like I'm going to tell you right now, it's not easy. And I went through a very, very dark path before I came up, you know, a path where I didn't even know if I mean, it was very close to not being here right now, you know? So,
Yeah.
but eventually I got out of it, you know, and it took a lot. Do things, don't isolate yourself. That's the big thing. Social isolation is the biggest
Well,
problem across the
this
United States of America.
this is, I mean, if you are seeking to process things, because a lot of people do process things differently, and if you are seeking to process this alone, don't do it in the dark. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And this is why I came here.
Yeah.
You know, in the outdoors. Do it somewhere where you're getting some sunlight. You're getting some fresh air, so that it just helps. At least for me, it helps.
For,
Um,
you know,
I know
for
you
the,
don't like camping, so
yeah, I don't like camping. That's not for me. But one of the things is, I mean, I did that for work. Why would I do it for fun?
so did
Come
we.
on,
But
man. Look. One big thing though, and if you're gonna travel, if you're gonna go glamping or camping or hiking, or go with somebody, you know, do it to protect yourself, because being out there in the wilderness by yourself is not safe. One, right? Things that can happen. Two, now you're putting yourself in a position where you can end up messing yourself up. You know, like I said, social isolation is a big issue. Go with somebody that you trust. Go with somebody that, if you don't want to talk to somebody, just bring a person that doesn't talk, just that
hey,
wants to just be there.
bring me
Just
up. I fucking hate
yeah,
talking, man.
yeah. bring Jose. No, I'm pretty sure if you invite him, he'll probably come out there in a heartbeat. But
Hell
you
yeah.
know, if you don't want to talk, bring somebody that just doesn't want to talk either. That just wants to be there. Just, you know, as long as you have somebody there to watch your back, you know, we in the military, we know about our battle buddy or wingman or our shipmate or our, you know,
Ranger buddies.
re, I don't know, Brokeback Mountain stuff that y'all do, but you know,
Hmm.
it's
And
you
it
need
does
to bring somebody, man.
it doesn't have to be this. And I get why Will doesn't like, this type of stuff, but it doesn't have to be the suck fest that we used to do in the military. Fuck, dude, I brought my truck, or my car. I brought, big ass tent. That thing holds like 12 people.
Oh wow.
It's got a light. It's got a light switch on it. The whole
Oh
thing
wow.
on the top lights up. Like
That's right.
it doesn't have to be the suck fest we used to do, where you're
Yeah.
miserable with your fucking poncho and it's raining and you're still on the waiting for the firing line to clear so that you can go up.
Yeah.
No, man, it's just you can glamp. I mean, I brought my laptop. I have Wi-Fi. I have external Wi-Fi so that I can do this and show people that you can make it work and you can make it peaceful enough where you can process whatever it is that you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
But I absolutely agree with you. I would bring somebody. I mean, I brought like 17 other people.
Yeah, he's got a whole village going on over there. He's
Yeah,
got a
we have
what
like
is
4
it?
campsites, man, and
He's getting ready for Seattle. He's gonna
But
create his own little citadel or whatever it's called.
yeah,
He's gonna be a Presidente Jose over there in the
yeah,
campsite
we're gonna
19.
create our own sovereign nation here. But yeah, man, it doesn't have to be extreme like we used to.
Yeah.
And it can still be peaceful enough where you can do. I mean, if you're into meditation, into yoga, you do it out here. If you're into whiskey and responsibly, you can do that and get the
Yeah.
the name of the podcast today is getting out of your headspace. And this is what, at least for me, this is what I do. My wife does it too. Amy does it. Our cousin Carmen does it too. She was in the army too. So like
It's
this is
easy.
what
It's
you do.
easy to get trapped inside your head.
Yeah.
That is the most basic thing you can do.
Mhm.
You don't need to try. It's almost like breathing. You know, you just sit there, and it's gonna happen unless you like on purpose try it not to breathe. You're gonna breathe, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta make the effort to get the hell out. You know, Wounded Warrior Project, and I know a lot of people don't like them, but they have their Odysseys where they'll take you, they interview you, they go through a whole session, and then you go out there and go camping and glamping or whatever.
No, there's a really good organization, the Team Red, White, and Blue, that does.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have an entire day,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have an entire weekend that you want to spend outdoors,
Yeah.
they do a couple hours.
Yeah.
The Team Red, White, and Blue does just a few hours, and you go hiking. You do some outdoor shit, and you're surrounded by vets.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Odyssey is a little more intense because what they do is they'll take you and they take away your cell phones. I had the pleasure to experience a week with them. You know, they actually brought in a cook. We had a house with like 19 bedrooms. I shared a bedroom with another an army guy, an army vet, and he had his bed. I had my bed. We had a closet, and then it was out in the outdoors, like it was like out in the middle of nowhere in like a vineyard.
But
You know,
he had to mention that both of you had a bed, but I'm sure there was only one bed that was utilized. Who was the big spoon, bro? Who was the big spoon? Tell us.
it
Right
got
now.
a little cold. It got a little cold, man. I mean, that's just,
Hmm.
no, I mean, it was
What was
a
that?
great experience. You know, we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner all together at this giant table,
What was
and
that
we would
called?
talk
Yeah.
about stuff. So Wounded Warrior Project, it's called Odyssey, and they only do like 1 or 2 a year. They don't do that many, and they actually have some even couples retreats where you could take your spouse or significant other. If you're like really committed with somebody, they'll let that person come. Versus, there's a lot of people that don't believe in marriage anymore, so they allow that now.
I just met this chick yesterday. I'm gonna bring her.
No, they really go through it and really focus on a lot of things, relationship. That's the biggest thing, Lido Paddle Project, if you bring your spouse or your girlfriend or whoever you have, they will talk about relationship things, how to build relationships. If you bring your friend with you, like I bring Jose and I'm like, hey, this is my civilian friend, how to strengthen your friendship, because one of the
You know
big
what, bro?
things,
Us three should do it so that we can develop our
our
friendship.
friendship skill. Yeah. Yeah, because I can't stand your ass sometimes.
I know you tell me over text all the time.
I don't know. Nah, the big thing is that, especially with civilians, it's very difficult for them to understand us sometimes, and it's very difficult for them to understand our sarcastic communication sometimes, and that's the biggest issue. So when I did that last Lido paddle project, and you can go back, what was it, 3-4 episodes that we talked about that, right? We had them on the show.
Yeah.
It's completely free. They take care of everything. You go out there in the water and you build your relationship with the water if that's what you want. You know, that's what they'll do. You know, but with them, you know, one of the big things that they brought up is that how competitive I am, and I didn't realize it, but I have like an issue when people challenge me. I will really get very competitive in a manner that's aggressive. You know, and it's not healthy. It's not. But I never thought about that. I was like, whatever, you know, I just don't like being challenged. But it's a problem, you know. So now I'm able to identify that so that when a friend challenges me, I don't go into, I need to beat you, you know. It's more of, okay, they're challenging me. I need to, you know, calm down and maybe even let them win, you know. As hard as that is for me, but it's something that I need to work on because it's very intimidating sometimes the way we come across to people, right?
Yeah. No,
So,
and it is, and that's one of the things that we talked about and at the last episode is these recognizing these symptoms where, you know, excessive approach or excessive aggressive approach to certain situations where you're exploding. You know, there's no happy medium. That's at least I know in my case it was one of them where it was from 0 to 100 very, very fast.
yeah.
Anxieties and others. So recognizing these things so that when somebody's telling you, like an organization is telling you that you're an excessive competitive, you have an excessive competitive nature that isn't healthy,
Yeah.
you can recognize it and say, okay,
And
it's
literally, the person that told me this was with me for 30 minutes. They said, "Tell me about yourself. Like, what is your relationship like?" And they said that, and I was like, "Yeah, that is true." Like, but I didn't recognize it because
barely 30 minutes. Goddamn.
30
Clairvoyant.
minutes,
That's really good.
30
Oh, he
minutes.
speaks. You haven't spoken the entire
No, this is good. It just feels weird because I don't have my microphone. My microphone broke. And when I talk, I can hear myself. That's
uh
right.
we just hear you, bro.
I thought it was because you don't have a mustache.
I don't have
So
a mustache. Yeah.
you didn't understand how to speak or move that lip anymore.
Dude,
I was a little confused. I saw
I
you
don't know what
earlier,
happened.
and I was like, "What happened there, man?" Like,
And you have a tiny upper lip, bro. You have a
I
tiny upper
do.
lip.
No, I don't.
No, I do.
Don't make fun of me.
I say it because I do. Like, if I've been taking this off in, I don't know, over a decade, man. So yeah, but yeah, if I were to show you like my upper lip, it's small, man.
Yeah.
But I have a big bottom lip.
Now all the viewers are like, "What the hell are they talking
Yeah,
about?"
what the fuck?
What are we talking about lips?
Tiny upper lips. You know, no,
It's the drinks.
it's you know, I highly recommend you go seek out help. You know, there's so many. If you don't want to go to the VA, that's perfectly fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with you. If you have some fear about the system coming after you because that you went to talk to them about your problems and they might condemn you from whatever, go find a nonprofit. There's thousands. There is so many that you can just telephone call, or there's others that you can video chat through your cell phone, and then there's others that you can go in person and talk to somebody. And none of that stuff ever comes back to the VA or the federal government or any government agency, besides the fact that they report this person was here so that they can get grant money to pay for your stuff. But
I'm
no
actually
record.
a big fan of the vet centers. So it might sound like the vet centers are linked to the VA, and in a sense they are, but they don't share information.
No.
The only reason why the vet centers are kind of linked to the VA is because they do have somehow they gained access to your medical files, so they could see that, but it's very limited. It isn't the entire thing.
Here's another.
They don't share information on that. They don't share
The
it at
only
all.
thing is they don't prescribe medication.
Yeah, the vet centers don't prescribe.
Here's another option too.
They're
So
all
like,
psychology.
if in California you can get your Medi-Cal, and you get a lot of sessions. At least I know that in the Inland Empire, San Bernardino County, Riverside County, you get 24 sessions to to talk to someone. And you get to choose who do you want to go to too.
But make it clear though that if you go through Medicare, that is a state funded organization. It's in essence almost like going to the VA.
Right.
And because Medicare will prescribe you a psychiatrist as well that can prescribe medication.
Yeah.
Whereas the nonprofits is usually psychology or psychotherapy, right? So that they can help you out through it.
I tend to shy away from. I tried medications right in the beginning, and
talking about medications. So, do any of you guys know anyone that actually into the microdosing? Because I came across this nonprofit. I can't find it, but they talk about microdosing, right? Like this little, what I'm talking about. I think this was something that we can chat, and bring somebody on board and talk about this specific topic. Yeah. I know you have.
Yeah, but I don't know if I could. Yeah, I don't know if I could say it. So
no, I know you can't, but I know I can't find the damn. I've been looking for it. But that's something. That's another way.
I mean, I could tell you. I could tell you that I know the government does have some research in it. As far as I could say, yeah.
Now, careful with the microdosing. The big thing is remember that even though if you work for the federal government, like some of us here do, you still can't participate in that type of medication, and you can't participate with cannabis at all. Still, there is talk about the marijuana becoming
legal,
federally legal, but still with certain jobs, it will still not allow you to take that stuff. So just be cautious with that if you hold a federal or state job, or some contract jobs that are contracted to the state or government.
Absolutely, definitely. So I want to ask you guys something, right? So we're talking about getting out of your negative headspace. So what's some of the best? What is the best locations or things you guys do as far as let's talk about traveling? Talk about travel. Oh, okay, traveling. I have not been there.
I will go stay at a cabin in Zion.
Came back from Zion National Park last week,
and it has to have HBO.
It has to have at least basic cable.
So last weekend I was in Zion National Park, and I camped. I did. Yeah, really? I was just there, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Last weekend.
Nice.
Well, thanks for telling me.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful out there.
I did tell you.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
So for people that don't know, I mean, you can research this. You can Google search it. Utah has 7 big national parks. For you, if you are service connected, national parks are free. You just gotta.
Yeah, I was gonna show you guys the card. So
yeah,
if you are service connected, they give you this lifelong pass. It's a blue one. Yeah. I used to have a purple one, which is a military one.
Yeah.
But the blue one, it's like eternal.
Yeah, so instead of paying the $15 access to get in, you don't pay for any of that stuff. And
so we camped last weekend, and this is just to give you an example. Last weekend we went to Zion National Park, and we camped outside of Zion. And because my wife and I have access passes, and it's $35 to get in.
Yeah, 35. That's what it is.
Yeah, if you don't have a pass. So it was easy for us to just get in the car and get in for free the entire time. So we went in probably about 4 or 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody else were to do it, like a civilian were to do it, that's a lot of money.
$140.
So take advantage of it. You can camp outside, so you don't have to pay the ridiculous rates to park inside or have a cabin inside. Just get a cabin outside or a campsite outside. It's minimal cost, and just fucking drive in, man.
The other thing, so there's two, right? So the national parks is for parks across the U.S. that are federally owned, right?
Owned, yeah.
Yellowstone, Zion.
I have my card. If I have my wallet,
all of those, and that card you can get at the entrance at the entrance of any of these parks that national parks, right?
Mm-hmm.
The state of California has state parks and beaches, right? If you're 100%, you have to submit this long paperwork form with the VA documentation and all that stuff, and it takes about 6 weeks, and then they'll send you a distinguished veteran card, and that one allows you to get in and out of state beaches and state parks for free.
Mm-hmm.
So here where I live, Huntington Beach, I have Boca Chica State Beach. I never pay to get in there, and there's concerts on the beach and all that stuff. Instead of paying the $15 to get in, I go in for free, in and out, just like you were talking about. But it just takes longer. It takes longer than the national one that you're talking about.
Yeah, the national one's immediate. You just go up to the ranger station or the cash station, and they give it to you right there and then. You just got to show proof of your VA ID, and it has to say service connected on there.
Yeah, the VA card. That's all you need. The other one you need to show your disability rating that they get through va.gov or document. So
all right, so you says Zion. What about you, Jose?
Shit, Zion's pretty up there, man.
I have to go there.
Well, about 2 years ago, my wife and I went to Havasu Pai. Havasu Pai, it's a hike. I mean,
it's 11 miles?
No, it's 9 miles down and 9 miles out.
Yeah. I thought it was 11 something, but
no, but you can get choppered, so you could just do the 9 in, or it's 8.5 in, and then get choppered out, and you get choppered. It's $20 for a chopper.
What?
Or $60. No. I paid $20 because Supai, one of my dogs, we got her from Havasu Pai. That's why we named her Supai. So we had her choppered out, and it only cost us $20, but it's $60 to get choppered out.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Also, those reservations, whenever they charge for entrance fees, like because Havasu Pai is over there by the Grand Canyon, correct?
Grand Canyon, yeah.
Yeah. So Havasu Pai also has the reservation area where you can go see the skywalk and all that fancy Grand Canyon exploration. They give military discounts or veteran discounts as well. So.
Yeah. The res does, and there's a beautiful reservation. Well, I mean, it's a nice reservation down at Havasu Pai when you get to down the gorge and everything. It's a population of probably 160 people down there, or no, it's 250 of reservation individuals and stuff like that. But it's beautiful. It's probably one of my favorite spots, man. But it is a trek to get down.
Have you been to the Havasu Falls? Supai Falls?
Oh yeah, Havasu Falls. I've been to. We did. So there's several falls there. There's waterfalls there. Yeah. The very first one that you come across, and you have to go through this little cave thing. It gets pretty treacherous because you got to climb down by a chain. That's Havasu Falls.
Wow.
And then Beaver Falls, and then there's other spots. But so we saw a bunch of them, but you have to hike to them, and it's maybe another 4 to 5 miles to get to the other 2 or 3 that are down there.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful, man. Let me show you.
You know where I'll take a road trip with you, man? Let's go to Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
We could do a podcast out there.
Let's do it.
I'm down, man. I'm down to take a road trip with y'all, man.
Yeah, but you gotta live. You gotta camp, bro. I don't know.
No, they got cabins out there, bro. Come on.
He's not doing that shit.
Yeah.
That ain't for me, man. I ain't building nothing, or I want like hotel service and everything.
I'm gonna show you this.
5 stars.
This is Beaver Falls.
Oh, that's nice.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, this is a hike that we did. Yeah,
Yeah. Be careful what you show.
yeah, but check out that water, dude.
Don't flick to the next one.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, there's another one right there.
Oh, there you go.
It's just gorgeous.
That's nice. Yeah, nice.
But the thing about that shit, and I know that we're running out of time, but the thing about that is that it goes on a lottery, so you have to win tickets. They only accept a certain amount of people throughout the year.
Yeah,
and
there's not that many either.
You know, they go on a lottery, I believe in November.
In February, but
February, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but you know what? The messed up part is they're so backed up because of COVID. They had to cancel everybody for 2020.
Yeah.
So now everybody that was supposed to be there in 2020 got pushed into 21, and then everybody from 21 is pushed into 22. So now they're backed up like 2 years.
Yeah, we just did it in November 2019, and then COVID hit, fucking 2020. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's crazy. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll share my thing for me.
Yeah,
it's
what
been
is
a few years. There's a spot in Hawaii, and it's Haleiwa, where they do the surf competitions. And the reason I say is because they have you shave ice. We'll take the shave ice, take it to the fucking beach, and just chill, man. There's just a beautiful. I mean, I just see the waves. That's my thing. I love being around the water. So that's my calm place.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Cool, man. So hey,
you lived in Hawaii for quite a bit, though. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, going from New York to Hawaii and then living in Hawaii for what, 5 years, 6 years?
No, 3 years. It was 3 years.
3? Yeah.
Yeah. So, cool. All right, guys, we out of time. For you guys been watching, thank you so much. I know you guys been watching from YouTube, so we appreciate that. Until next time. Share, I gotta say, you share this video, like this video, subscribe to our channel. I know Will had this a little, there we go. Also, what is your way of coping with, what do you do as far as, where do you go traveling? What's your favorite spot?
Actually, if you like camping, what is your favorite spot in camping, man? What is it? Like right here, I'm in Santa Barbara, and the place that I'm at, it's called Los Prietos Campground in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, man.
Cool. Nice. All right, guys. Until next time. Peace.
Peace.